seat as you're doing that nice, slow, intentional, taking your time for that super duper slow decelerization, using all the muscles as you go down. Find that seat carefully, safely, sit your butt into your chair, and then walk your butt back. Take a second to just let everything snuggle on in. Let your feet get a comfortable position. Let your legs find a comfortable position. Let your back rest into the back of the chair and let your eyes close down. Before we start to move too much or deeply engage our bodies, take a second here to set a good intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your mind or your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. So we're going to take a moment to touch base and sort of deepen the breath. So if you will, take a hand and however you like, so that you can feel the good movement of the rib bones underneath your hand. I think that palpation, that feedback is very valuable. So place your hand somewhere where you can feel your rib cage, and there's no right or wrong which way you go. And then once you've got your hands spread across the side of your ribs, take a nice big rib cage filling breath as if you're trying to breathe that side of your rib cage. Let the rib bones open, lift, and expand. And then with your exhalation comes this soft and gentle recoil. So you're just going to slow your breath down, deepen the breath a little bit so you feel that expansiveness into the rib cage. And then let that exhalation just be slower and slower each time you breathe out. And then if like me, you went for that single hand hold, maybe switch sides, hold on to the other side of your ribs, get comfortable there, and then come back to that expansive breath. We want the intercostal muscles to get a little bit of feeling of stretch as they open and the rib cage lifts and expands. And then there's this soft, gentle recoil as you let the breath go. Slow inhalation and an even slower exhalation. Take one more breath. And then we're going to go handhold to the sides of the ribs, sides of the waist. So you're just going to get whatever little handhold you can, and you're going to do the little locomotion. So you just want to feel like you're kind of smushing the skin and connective tissue across the glossy positioning of the bony set. So you're going to sort of smush the skin, give it a little circular motion. We're going to focus a lot on our fascia today. And then if you're going in one particular direction, reverse it, go the other way. All right, take one more moment there, and then we're just gonna go stretch your arms, stretch one leg out. Take big good morning stretch, flex your foot, spread your fingers, and then as you exhale, soften it just a touch, and we're gonna switch to the other leg. Stretch your leg out, stretch your arm, spread your fingers, get that good stiffening, yawning, reaching stretch. And then when you're ready, soften, and then we're gonna lift up. And as we take our cat-cows today, sometimes we do, like I say, oh, put like tension in your back, like somebody's just kind of giving you a little shove and you firm up your muscles. Think of this as that big good morning stretch. So whatever helps you find that feeling. When we do our cat cow today, think of it as that yawning stretch. You want to kind of feel like you expand the webby connective tissue of your body, open up your chest as you take that arch of the back, and then round your back. But think big good morning stretch and really reach through the back body. And then as you inhale, come forward with the heart, stretch and open, spread the collarbones, stretch that rubber band from the sternum to the chin, get that nice yawning, reaching stretch. And then as you exhale, take your time, round your back, get that yawning, reaching stretch into back body. And then take a few rounds, slow down, follow your breath. Find that feeling of that big good morning stretch. Take one more time through. We're going to walk our feet out just a touch so they're just a little bit further away, or so that the heels aren't directly underneath your knees. And then we're just going to do a little slip and slide. So you're going to slide your hands down your thighs, down your shins to the shoelaces, and then slip and slide your way back up. And think of this as just kind of waking up the superficial fascia. You get that little touch point. Slide your hands down, and then you can put a little press into the hands. So you get that little drag of the lymphatic fluid as you come back up. And then we're going to slide forward again. Press into your palms, slide down your shins, touch the shoelaces. Press into your palms, slide your way back up. We're going to go one more time with that movement. Coming forward, slide your hands down, touch the shoelaces. And then push into your palms, drag and slide your way up. And then once you've come all the way back up, pick one leg up and just a little bit of circular motion to the foot. Think of this as moving the fascia and connective tissue around that marma point where the leg meets the foot, especially in that front, where the front connection of the shoelaces. We've got a nice bit of work going on there that we can just wake up. All right, and then if it's going in one direction, reverse it, go the other way. Notice if there's any clicky or stiff places. Just notice the general track of movement of your foot. And then you're going to just put your foot wherever it lands. It can heel to the ground. It could stay in a lifted position. But now think big good morning stretch with your foot. So you're going to spread your toes, spread the ball of your foot. And it's more of an energetic reach. So you might not feel like you can get anything really moving apart from each other. But think big good morning stretch with that foot, and just spread the toes, get as much liveliness or action into that foot, and then soften everything, set it down, switch the work over to the other foot, pick it up, and just get some circular motion into your ankle. Notice if there's any clicking, any stiff or sticky places. There's no right or wrong, we just notice. And then when you're ready, take it in reverse, go the other way. Notice if the reverse changes anything. All right, now we're going to shoot for that big good morning stretch feeling in the foot. So whether it's heel on the ground or heel in a lifted position, spread your toes. Imagine that you're just trying to yawn and reach and stretch just through the whole entire foot. Get that aliveness, waking up the fascia in between the bony structure of your toes into that plantar fascia. Stretch the foot long, stretch it nice and wide. Take one more second to find that idea of just waking up your foot. And then take a second to set it down. And now we're going to go into a twisted position. But before we go, you're going to stretch up just a little bit as if you're trying to lengthen the tube of your waist, and then keep the tube of your waist nice and lengthy. Rotate to one side. And then as you rotate to one side, think big good morning stretch upward. So you're going to take a nice big inhale and just reach everything upward as if you're trying to take that big yawning stretch in a twisted position. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. On an inhale, come through center. And then as you exhale, lengthen the tube of your waist. Get tall first. Rotate to your side. Find that idea of that yawning, reaching stretch. You want to get into your twist and then reach everything upward. Take a nice big in-breath. Fill your body up. And then on an exhale, slowly soften and then return to center. Now we're going to do that reach and grab. So you're going to reach like you're reaching for something across the room, and you want that to be all in your hands. So spread your fingers, get that yawning, reaching stretch into your hands, grab that awakeness from across the room and bring it towards your body. Stretch your fingers, spread them out. We get those oblique muscles working just a touch. All right, one more reach and grab, and then we're going to reach and grab down towards the ground. So you're going to reach, but spread your fingers. Everything is coming from the hands. We spread the fingers. We stretch that fascia. We get that nice tensile feeling going on, and we just let it release just a little bit. And all of that is information from your fingertips up to your brain. It's going to send it right to the nervous system, letting your nervous system know that everything is waking up. All right, take one more reach to each side. And then as you come back in, you're going to bring your hands together, interlace the fingers, flip your palms, press them forward. Let your shoulders soften down just a touch, and then press out. Think big good morning stretch. So you're going to just reach just a little bit extra through the palms, through the fingers. Take a nice big breath. Now we're going to keep this interlace of the fingers, push forward a little further, but round your back and get a little bit of extra space into the shoulder blades. And now think big good morning stretch. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Come back in nice and slow, and then just take a second to release, twinkle out your fingers, roll out your shoulders. Take a second just to notice that aliveness feeling in your body. And then once you have that sense of that alive feeling in your body, feet nice and solid on the ground, nice tall upright spine, take it into just your head and neck. For head and neck, let's go really gentle here. Inhale, lift your chin gently up. And exhale, tuck your chin down. And just take a few cycles of breath for this one, skipping that feeling of pandiculation. So we're just going to kind of gently move the cervical spine. A little soft gentleness here. Allow your cheekbones to be a little soft. Allow your jaw to be a little soft. Right now on this next up, then you're going to go for that little idea of that good morning stretch, but think look over a high wall. So you're going to lift your chin up and then get that feeling. Maybe it's a feeling of stretch from the sternum to the chin, like you're stretching that rubber band, or that looking over a high wall, but get that yawning, reaching, lifting, energetic stretch. Hang for just a second. And then as you exhale, soften, let your chin tuck down to your chest, and then stay there for a second, but let the ball of your head just be a little bit heavy. Cool. Now you're going to lift your head up to a neutral position. We're going to do that jock nod where we sort of tilt the chin up as if we're saying what's up. But when we do our jock nod, we're going to go a little bit slow, and you're going to think yawning, reaching stretch or pandiculation. So pandiculation is a stiffening stretch. So we sort of reach it out to the edges. So you're going to tilt your chin up towards the sky, but go a little bit slow and go for that yawning, reaching stretch. And then just as you find the end of it, slowly release, and then take it over to the other side. Tilt your chin up as if you're saying, what's up? But let it be slow, let it find that end range, that yawning, reaching stretch. And then just as you find the end of it, bring it back in nice and slow. Take it over to the other side. Nod your head as if you're saying, what's up? And then slow release. Take it over to the other side. And release. Go one more time through. Beautiful. All right, bring your head back to neutral position. Take a second just to kind of shoop out the head and the neck, make sure everything feels good. Now we're going to go similar yawning, reaching stretch through the back of your leg. So you're going to pick up and you're going to do a little basket weave so the leg doesn't have to work too hard in that holding lifted position. But then you're going to push forward with your leg, and you can almost kind of tug against that back of your thigh to get that little stretch through the hamstring. So push forward, think yawning, reaching stretch, and then imagine that your heel is trying to push away from your hip. Take one more second there, and then slowly release, switching sides, basket weave, pick up your other leg. Get it in that nice lifted position, and then yawning, reaching stretch. Push out through that leg as if your leg is trying to move away from the hip socket. Hold steady for just a second. Find the end of that reach and stretch, and then bring it all back in, set it down, and then seated mountain pose. Feet nice and solid on the ground, hands down at your sides. And now we're going to go sun salutation to each side. On an inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky and look up. Exhale, fold towards your feet. It never matters if you can touch your feet. We just fold towards them. Inhale to a half fold, make a little space for yourself. Right hand to the left knee, left hand's going to reach behind you for a twist. Hang out there for a second, take a nice big breath. When you're ready, bring that hand back in, catch hold of your knee, bring your knee towards your chest, bring your nose towards your knee. Flex your foot, lift your chest, lift your chin. Release your foot, release your chin, float that limb down to the ground, right into your mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold towards your feet. Inhale to a half fold, come up, make a little bit of space. Left hand to the right knee, right hand reaches behind you for a twist. Bring that hand back in, catch hold of your knee, bring your knee towards your chest, bring your nose towards your knee. Flex your foot, lift your chest, lift your chin. Release your foot, release your chin, slowly float that limb down to your mountain pose. And now when we're going into some places here, we're going to add just that little feeling of pandiculation. So whatever you can find, and don't worry about it being perfect. Nothing ever is. So find your nice solid mountain pose. Feel your feet gently press into the ground. Feel your tube of your waist get a little bit longer. Lift up through the top of your head. Get nice and energized. Spread your fingers. Get that first yawning, reaching stretch. And then on your inhalation, lift your arms up. Reach up through the side body, through the tube of your waist. Feel your shoulder blades get a little bit heightened as well. And then as you exhale, fold towards your feet. Keep that energy into your back as you fold. Inhale halfway up, just get a little bit of space created. Take your right hand to your left knee. Left hand's going to reach behind you. You're going to use your drishti, so your eyes are going to look to that back hand, and then you're going to feel that idea of pandiculation. So look to your back hand and then reach that yawning, reaching stretch through that back hand, through the arm, through the fingers. Feel a little bit into your neck and maybe even to the grip that's holding onto your knee. Take one more second. And then when you're ready, slow release, catch hold of your knee. Bring your knee up towards your chest. And then for this one with our yawning stretch, you're going to imagine that you're kind of pushing your knee into your hand as if you're trying to yawn and stretch your knee away from you. So your hands are going to hold on a little bit firm. Hang there for just a second. And then soften, tuck your nose towards your knee. Take a breath. All right, now keep that knee towards your chest. Flex your foot, lift your chest, lift your chin. Now stretch that rubber band from your sternum to your chin. Get that yawning, reaching stretch through the front of your heart space. And then on your next exhale, soften everything, float that limb back down to the ground, find your mountain pose, take a moment just to notice. Inhale, spread your fingers, reach your arms up, get that yawning reach up towards the sky. Lengthen the tube of your waist, and then as you exhale, fold toward your feet, keep a little energy into your back. Inhale, halfway up. Make that bit of space for yourself. Left hand finds the right knee, right hand reaches behind, and then we spread the fingers. Use your drishti. Your eyes are looking to that hand, and your yawning, reaching stretch takes it through the arm. Open up your chest. Take a second to find that reach. And then when you're ready, exhale, soften, bring it back in. Catch hold of your knee, bring your knee up towards your chest. Now push your knee into your hand. Get that feeling of like you're trying to reach that knee away from you. Hold steady for just a second. And then soften, tuck nose toward knee, take a breath. All right, now we flex the foot, lift the chest, lift the chin, stretch from the sternum to the chin, stretch that rubber band, get that upward reach. And then as you exhale, soften, float that limb down to the ground. Go back to a seated twist, rotate to one side, but really soft now. Release all of that idea of the yawning stretch and just let your breath come in and out slowly for 2 more cycles of breath. On an inhale, come through center, and then as you exhale, softly twist to the other side, reducing effort and just letting the breath come in and out. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly unwind. Now we are going to spin off to one side, just get a little down dog stretch. So I'm going to say hands to the low side of the chair, anywhere you want them to be, because I'm going to spin off to one side just because it's convenient and the way that our chairs are set up, that we're just going to go, come off to one side, put your hands onto the surface of your chair. Hang there for a second. And before we even start to walk back to that down dog, imagine that your hands and your arms are already in that good morning stretch. You're going to find that little bit of pandiculation down into your arms and spread your fingers. And then once you've got that feeling of pandiculation, start to walk your butt back, stretch out through your arms. Think yawning, reaching stretch from your sits bones to the tips of your fingers. Take a nice big breath. All right, now I want you to think yawning, reaching, stretch from your heels to your butt. So you want to feel like not like you're trying to perfectly straighten your legs, but as if you're trying to yawn and stretch upward, lifting your sitting bones slightly up towards the ceiling, and take a nice big breath. All right, now you're going to think from the plantar fascia up to the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers. Take an inhale and let that energy reach and stretch from the tips of your fingers, crown of your head, back body, backs of your legs, down to your feet, down to your toes. Take one more moment. And then let an exhale soften you entirely. Slowly, slowly, slowly walk your way back up to that tabletop position. Hang in your table just for a moment, just to notice the benefits of that nice little tension and stretch. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back to a comfortable seat. Take your time as you come into seated position. And then once you've got your seated position, we're going to take the left leg and stretch it out. Go for a little bit of a flex in the foot with the heel connected to the ground and a bit of a bend in the knee. And then you're going to put your hand into the shelf of your hip so that you come over your hand. So we want that nice little hip hinge maneuver. And then once you're over your hand, slip it out, touch your toes if you can. Don't worry if you can't. And then hang out there for a second and just feel into the back of your leg. Let it be a little bit soft. Take one more breath. Come up nice and slow, step that leg in, switch the work to the other side. Send your leg out, a little bit of a bend in the knee, foot's in a slightly dorsiflex position. Put your hand into that front pocket so we create that little shelf, and then we hinge over the shelf. We would just want that good form as we lean forward. And then once you're in that folded position, slip that hand out from the shelf, reach down towards your toes. Does not matter if you can touch your toes, we just reach towards them. And then take a moment there just to soften into the back of your leg. When you're ready, slowly, 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 slowly bring yourself up, and then just take a second to, with like really looseness into the legs, just swish your knees a little side to side. We're going to go seated figure four, but if you know that a seated figure four is much better to be supported on the yoga block, I'll say grab your yoga block real quick and put it around your feet so that you can have that lower positioning. If the figure four across your tops of your thighs feels good, then you're going to do the shape that feels just right to you. Start by just picking up one knee and move the knee in some gentle circles. No pandiculation here. Just allow the thigh bone to be a little bit loose in the thigh socket. All right, take it in reverse, go the other way. Nice. Okay, now we're going to bring it into that figure four shape. So whether it's a low across the ankle, onto your yoga block, or across the thigh, you're going to go like, where does it feel good for a second? And then you're going to go opposite hand to that knee. And now we're going to shoot for a little idea of pandiculation. For this one, because we're in an external rotation, let's be mindful about the pressure, especially with the hand. Think more push your knee into your hand, and then your hand creates a little gentle resistance. And then you're going to flex your foot and spread your toes. Gently push your knee into your hand and hold that little feeling of tension or this like nice firm frame, and hold it just for a second. And then when you're ready, let everything soften and release. And now you're going to hinge and fold over your leg. And now how far you go, shoot for that like middle space, not too far, not too closed off, someplace where you feel a little stretch in your butt muscle, a little stretch in your hip, nothing too much in your knee, nothing unpleasant in the back. And then once you've found that soft, gentle middle space shape, take a slow, deep, intentional breath. Breathe like you're trying to breathe past the back of your rib cage down into your sits bones. Take one more breath. Keep the leg in figure four shape, but come away from the folded position. Now we're going to grab big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound. You're going to put a little pinch and a little pull apart. So you're going to grab that space. So go for the big toe ball mound pinch, pinky toe ball mound pinch. pull them away from each other in a way that makes sense. It won't move much, but we just want to get this idea of that pulling apart feeling. And then once you've got that pulling apart feeling, you're just going to wiggle the foot a little bit. So big toe up, big toe down. And of course, all of this is work that feels good. So if you get there and touching your foot doesn't feel good, or if it's in a pain point, you're going to leave it off. But if everything feels okay, take one more moment just to find that little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then once you've wiggled it just enough, just with a gentle handhold, Model T crank, circle your foot, go circle in one direction, circle the other way. One more circle around, and then we're going to do the wring out the dish towel at our calf muscle. So you're going to just go a little bit forward, a little bit back, moving the fascia, the connective tissue, the superficial fascia. So we're getting into that top surface stuff, but all of our fascia is an information superhighway. So it's talking to your brain constantly. And sometimes it's nice to give it that novel movement so we don't spend a lot of time twisting and torquing our calf muscle on the skin there. So we're just going to give it that fun, novel movement. Take one more moment there. And then when you're ready, help lift that leg up and off. Take a second to set it down. Give it a little swish and a little wiggle. All right, now we're going to take our figure four to the other side. So whether it's a low crisscross on the yoga block, up or above, take a second to find just the shape that feels just right, just available right now. Take a moment just to notice, because one side might always be a little different from the other. And then when you feel ready for it, opposite hand to the knee is going to gently push first, push your knee into your hand, and then let your hand create a little touch of resistance, just so we get that little feeling of a good sturdy frame. And hold there steady for a moment. Notice your breath. All right, and then soften and release. And now we're going to fold over that leg. So you're just going to softly fold, shoot for that middle space, not too far, not too close, someplace that you can breathe comfortably, get a nice little stretch in your butt, maybe a little feeling of gentle stretch in the low back, nothing hurting you in your knee. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly come up away from that fold, catch hold of your foot, Model T crank, just circle the foot. Circle it the other way. All right, now we're going to grab big toe, little toe, ball toe mound. So you're going to take your fingers, pinch the ball toe mound, big toe side, pinky toe side, and then give that foot a little wiggle. Pull it apart, give it a little wiggle. Take a little glance-a-rooney at those toes. Are they ready for summer? Are they ready for the flip-flops? Mine are not. Take one more moment there. And then when you're ready, softly release. And now we're wringing out the dish towel of that calf muscle. So just a little bit forward, a little bit back. We stimulate this top surface, the skin, the connective tissue, that fascia along the top surface. We give it that nice novel bit of movement. It increases the warmth. It increases blood flow. Take one or two more. Awesome. And then when you're ready, help lift that leg up and off, set it down, take a second, get that little windshield wiper action going on. All right, last bit of fascia that we're going to move before we just start to do some like gentle work to make our way back into our seat. Pads of the fingers to that little knobby bone at the back of your neck. So think the low part of the cervical spine where the thoracic spine meets the cervical spine. You'll feel that one little bony prominence there. And you're going to use the pads of your fingers to find that bony prominence. And using the pads of your fingers, you're just going to smush some gentle circles. You want to feel like you're moving the skin and connective tissue over and around the bone. And if you like a little symmetry, maybe switch hands, work the other side, get a little bit of smush with the pads of the fingers on this side. Notice if one hand maneuvers better than the other, or do they both work about the same? Does one hand have a little bit more pressure than the other, or do they both feel about the same? There's no right or wrong, we just notice. All right, one more smush there, and then we're just going to cup our hands around the throat. We're going to take 3 humming exhales. So humming is good for our nervous system. It supports our immune system. It helps support our heart and our lungs. So with your hands gently cupped around the throat, it's just so you can feel that gentle vibration. So eyes closed down, take a nice big in-breath through your nose, fill your lungs up. And then as you exhale, let out a nice low hum. At the end of your exhalation, when you're ready for it, take another nice big lung, rib cage filling breath. And then as you exhale, a nice low hum. One last cycle of breath. Nice big rib cage filling inhale. Slow humming exhale. And then once you've completed that last humming exhale, take a second to just let your hands release. Stay in a nice neutral seat, tall spine, feet solid on the ground, eyes closed down. Just take a breath and notice your body. We're going to lean our torso back because we want a little access to the soft tissue of our abdomen. So you're going to let your back find the back of the chair, put a little space, and we're going to go a little smush, a little smush. So you're going to go one hand on top, one hand on bottom, and you're going to smush just a little, as if you're trying to crimp the pie, right? So smush just a little, hold in that little smush, take a breath. All right, and then smush like you're trying to smush apart. Hold there for a second and take a nice big breath. All right, now switch your hand position and then smush in, hold there, take a breath. And then when you're ready, smush out, hold there, take a breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, just take a second to release, fix up your costume, and then adjust your seat so that you feel really restful in your seated position. So you just want to reduce effort in your legs, reduce effort in your back, reduce effort in your shoulders. Let your hands land wherever they like, resting on the belly, resting on your thighs, anywhere they feel good about. Let your eyes close down. And then as you let your eyes close down, let your awareness travel right down to your feet. Notice your toes, the balls of your feet, your heels. Let them get soft and heavy on the ground. Top of the foot where the shoelaces would be, imagine that the top of the foot is just melting down into the blade edge and the instep of your foot. Let your shins and your calves get nice and heavy down into your heels. Your knees are warm and soft, and the pits of your knees are soft and released. Thighs are soft and heavy. Hips and the butt are just in a soft, held, soft position. Soft abdomen, soft back. Soft shoulders, heavy armpits, heavy elbows, soft and heavy fingers. Let your cheekbones soften, let your temples soften, let your jaw soften. staying soft and mostly effortless in your body. Just allow your awareness to come back in, and you're just going to let your awareness come to middle of the rib cage torso section. So think front of the chest, back of the chest, rib cage area. And then I want you to think of your breath like your breath is trying to breathe and do a big good morning stretch, but it's just your breath into your lungs and into your rib cage. So take a nice big yawning, stretching breath into your lungs and into your rib cage. And then let your exhale be nice and slow. All right, now inhale and take that yawning, reaching stretch to your fingers. Spread your fingers, stretch the rib cage. And then exhale, soften just a little bit. And now yawning, reaching, stretch your arms and one leg up and out, reach through your foot, spread your toes, spread your fingers, yawn and reach and stretch, and then soften everything just a little bit to switch your leg. Take that next inhalation, yawn and reach and stretch to that other leg, spread your fingers, open your heart. And then when you're ready, lift everything up, and you're just going to walk your butt forward just a little bit. We're going to do yawning, reaching, stretch. We're going to fold towards our seat and come up. You're going to come up in the way that makes the most sense to your body today. So with your heels connected to the ground, spread your toes, stretch your arms, take that inhalation and yawn and reach and stretch all the way out to the edges of your skin. And then exhale, soften your feet, fold towards your feet in a way that makes good sense. It might be tops of the thighs. You're going to go where it feels good. And then you're going to lift your butt up. And then on your next inhalation, you're going to imagine you're just trying to lift your sitting bones up towards the ceiling, yawning, reaching, stretch through the backs of the legs, maybe even through the arms and the shoulders. And then exhale for a little softness, bend your knees, push strong into your feet, come up nice and slow into a standing position, and then give your body a little bounce and a little jiggle and a little waking up. Once it feels good and lively and awake, bring one hand to your belly, one hand to the heart, and take a second just to come back to yourself. Take a nice big breath of love and gratitude towards yourself, for your mind, for your body, for all of your hard work. One more filling up breath for some good positive intentions for the rest of the day, and an exhale to let go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you for the next 3 minutes of your morning. You guys are amazing. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday.